Hello and welcome to another episode of the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we're going to have a look at an auction from the Baecque and Associates, which are an auction house based in France, and they have their auctions, as many of the French ones seem to have, on this Interenchères website, at least for online bidding. So this auction house is new to me, based in Lyon in France. If you have a look here, can look at the fees and conditions. Looks like 25% kind of buyer's fee and some other potential VAT, maybe some internet bidding costs as well. So do, if you're interested in bidding on this, have a look at all the terms. I've just had this translated to English via Google just to help with that. So this auction has been up for a while. You can kind of place like pre-bidding, but the actual auction is live and it happens tomorrow actually. So it happens on Thursday, the 1st of April at 2:30 p.m, which I presume is kind of the French time. Yeah, so that's it. It's the 31st today, 31st of March, so it's happening tomorrow. So once again, late to the game. I've had this one on my list to do for a while, and it's been a busy time. So yeah, without further ado, let's have a look at this and see what we can get. I think this auction is kind of not, is a, you know, fairly general-ish and maybe not super high-end, but we shall have a look and see what we have. So we've got 188 lots to go through. Let's look at the first one. So a violin, kind of in a viola form, made by Jtl in Neuchâtel in Switzerland in 1955. One piece back with violin case. So a slightly odd violin there. Got a few pictures, not crazy amounts of pictures. Lot 2 is a quarter-size violin from Miracle, so we'll avoid that. Another quarter violin with a Strad label. Semi-medium Fino made Miracle violin. So I think we know what these kind of look like. Yeah, so far it's nothing too outrageous. Another looks like half-size fiddle by a Jacquot in Switzerland, so 1936. Obviously this was the style of that maker. It's got a interesting bird's kind of head there, so yeah, curious. Looks like a kind of amateur maker having a bit of a fun. Half-size Jtl violin, 3/4 signed Miracle violin, another 3/4 Miracle, Jtl 3/4, anonymous 3/4 Miracle, another anonymous 3/4 Miracle. I mean, it's a French auction, so there's always going to be lots of these kind of French instruments, which makes sense. German violin, beginning of the 20th century. It's got one piece back, 361mm. Let's have a look. Okay. And 18th century German violin bearing a Klotz label. 2-piece back, 364. That's quite large. Had a heel repair. 2 ebony cheeks on the scroll. It's had a lot of varnish wear. You can see the graft there. Okay, that's interesting enough so far. German violin, made around 1900 with a French label. That's pretty standard 1900s kind of workshop fare. Anonymous German violin, another 20th century, 358 back. So I did a good bit of attempt at antiquing on that one. Another German violin with a monk's head. Wow. A Steiner mark on the back. That is interesting. That's one of the oddest heads I've seen. I must admit. Um, German Violin by Hopf, apparently, or Marked Hopf, 1976. Beautiful handmade German violin by Fritz Kraus, 1948, 358. Some repair to the table under tailpiece, missing a peg. Okay. Amateur violin, illegible mark, dated 1944, two-piece back, 65mm table slits, worn varnish. Let's have a quick look at this. Yeah, it's a bit, as they say, clearly some amateur work there. Someone might find it interesting. Violin bearing the Barabbas Melchior label, 1916, made in Kronstadt in Germany. So a lot of repairs to the table there. Okay. Jtl Violin, a violin Schiphol. Let's have a look if there's any other things. It's fairly interesting wood. Beautiful violin made in Mirecourt. Well, we have to look at it then if it's beautiful. Two-piece back, 362. So not outrageously exciting, but okay. Colin Mazar, workshop violin from Mirecourt. Go past that. Another Mirecourt violin, but let's have a quick look at this, so I'm not persecuting these. Yeah, that's interesting enough. Anonymous violin made around 1900. Two-piece back, 357. Back is detached, repaired to the scroll with two sturdy bows, one of which is Pernambuco. There you go. Okay. Has some charm, I don't mind that so much. Beautiful 19th century violin case, solid walnut. Mirecourt, 20th century, bearing a Martus mark, fairly standard. Handmade violin by handmade violin with Francesco Ruggieri label. Okay, it's got needs a bit of repair there, but the F holes look quite nice, in my limited opinion. Mirecourt violin, 1880, with a Galliano label. And a certificate from Alain Carbonard. Okay. Anonymous violin from 1900, two-piece back. Table repairs onto table. It's got a headache. Interesting. Good state of restoration. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Has ebony crown on the back. It's not too bad. Violin from the workshop of Emile Puzol around 1920. Signed A. Storello. Two-piece back, 359. Another case with the Paul Blanchard shipping label. Violin of the workshop of Lebert in Breton, so we can go past that. Beautiful violin from the Parisian school of the early 19th century, entourage of Lupo. Has a handwritten label, Piquet Luthier, Rue de Petit Champs in Paris. 1809, good general condition. Small part of the neck at the bottom of the heel. Some repairs in the F-holes. Beautiful varnish. Okay. Comes with a bow. So quite look at that. Okay. There you go. So a kind of interesting French violin there. Okay. MJB Kessel's violin, made in Tilburg, Strad model, 1899. Violin bearing the Klotz label from 1900. Looks fairly standard. Anonymous French violin, beginning of the 19th century. Not as interesting as the last French violin, not by a long way. Jtl Violin, another violin from Mirko. A violin from Nicolas Villaume's workshop, made for Paul Blanchard in Lyon. Two-piece back in case. Violin bearing Strad label, Mirko, second half of the 19th century. Interesting varnish. Looks quite wide. Violin bearing Boccani label in Mentu. Two-piece, 360 back. Looks pretty standard. Another Mirko violin, can go past that. Another JTL, another kind of French violin, anonymous Mirko violin. Let's have a quick look at this. 360 back. Another case. Old pink velvet interior. Yet you don't show us the picture. How upsetting. Violin by Lebert Humbert. Another French violin. Repair under the right F hole, as you can just see here. Needs a bit of setup work. Lot of 3 violins. Is there anything exciting here? No, looks pretty normal. Case. Ooh, this is interesting. Rare small viola made by Fevreau in Lyon, 1814, which it bears the label. Table and background inlaid with geometric patterns. Two-piece back, 8382, missing the fingerboard, top and bottom saddles. Some old restorations. Okay. This is, yeah, very interesting patterns on that. That's curious. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of the front of that, but the back is definitely interesting. Okay, 3/4 viola, alto violin, revised by Robert Cohn, German alto violin. Let's have a quick look at that. And the label of Henrik Holfter. Missing the bottom nut. That's quite curious. Anonymous Hungarian viola violin, circa 1970. Looks quite workshoppy. BAM viola case. Deblay Violin Bow in nickel silver. German violin bow mounted in nickel silver. Violin bow from the Bazin School. JTL bow. Here we go. This is a bit more interesting. Violin bow from Dominique Picat's workshop. Mounted in nickel silver. Weight 53 grams. Okay. Lack of ebony at the bottom. Then German school violin bow in exotic wood. Let's have a quick look at that. mounted in aluminium and nickel silver. Okay. Weight 48 grams. Looks like it's a little bit interesting there. German school violin bow, mounted in silver. Louis Morizon Brothers violin bow, stamped A. Perrot, mounted in silver, weight 58 grams, with silk trim. There's a few pictures there. And then a Jtl bow, violin bow, Francois Lot violin bow, mounted in ebony and silver, weight 62 grams. Two violin bows, one signed Piccolo and nickel silver. Yep. Just let's have a look. Manufacturer violin bow, signed Lupo, in fact. Okay. Viola bow from the workshop of Prosper Colas, mounted in nickel silver. Okay, cello made in the workshop of Jtl, to be restored. Cello made by Nicholas Erne, of which he bears the iron mark in the town of Cremona. Date partially erased, 1780. Master luthier, 18th century. Lower left and upper right ribs changed, some wear in old restorations. Looks quite interesting. Curious Cello by Albert de Blay, 1935. Inspired by the cellos of Chanot. That's definitely an interesting one. Cello by Pierre Sylvestre in Lyon in 1835, which bears the label. This is the high ticket item. Good condition, no crack or repair. Yep, let's have a look what pictures they have. Nice old case. There you go. Bazin School cello bow, Roger Francois Lot cello bow, cello bow from the Roger Lot workshop, cello bow of foreign production, Louis Morizot Brothers cello bow. Let's have a look at this. Hurdy-gurdy and its incomplete keyboard, made by Colston in Mirecourt, first half of the 19th century, with an expressive old man's head, a few worm bites. So the worms have been a bit hungry. Yeah, this definitely needs some parts there. I like the head carving, is nice. A theorbode lute guitar with 12 strings, signed by Orso in iron at the bottom of the table. Okay. Curly maple. Pegs are missing. I think these look more impressive than they actually are in reality. Here's something you don't see every day. Interesting old Quinton bearing a label from Aldrich in Paris. Back inside's a maple bell, tortoiseshell fingerboard, various bone decorations, incredible ivory head, spruce top, two-piece back. Yeah, that's interesting. Difficult to get that one shipped anywhere with ivory and tortoiseshell. That's ooh, look at that. That is quite an interesting instrument, really. All the ivory, tortoiseshell, bird's eye, kind of maple it looks like on the back. That's yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. Okay, French mandolin, about 1920, maple bell background, to be restored. Yep. Nice. It's quite nice. Nice back there. kind of double stringed 6-string mandolin there, so 12 strings. Interesting. Rare winged mandolin, known as an Alato mandolin, by Luigi Saucedo in Naples, 1904. Loop-shaped body with 15 ribs, rosewood fingerboard and neck. That's some damage and restored rib. That's a curious little thing. Does that like its little wings, like a little bird? An interesting Nicolas Blanchet pianoforte. So, from Paris, 1801. I've got a lot of information on this for you people interested in kind of earlier keyboard instruments. Pianoforte by Erard, Paris, 1802. Looks like an interesting thing. Interesting, the estimates are so low. Some of the keyboard instruments, they just don't make any money anymore, unfortunately. Alfred Arnold chromatic bandoneon with initials and plaque. It's curious. Not many pictures of that. Italian accordion with 80 bass keys to be repaired. Small diatonic accordion by Francois de Denis in Rivez, circa 1920, as is. So that means probably not in good condition. Accordion by Cavagnolo Domenico and Figli. Yeah, that looks quite an interesting one there. Cavagnolo accordion, 5 rows, 120 basses. Nice pearl model, as they say. Chromatic accordion by Cavagnolo, Domenico and Figli. Quite fancy. Malgain, chromatic accordion, 5 rows, 120 basses. If the pictures want to load. No, I'm not sure that the picture wants to come up. Boxwood Transverse Flute by Thibouville Gondin. Signed on each body, missing ring cap and terminal part. Another Transverse Flute, circa 1850, by Didier Noblet in Paris. Boxwood and ivory with a hallmark solid silver hinge key. 1 cylinder repair. Good bit of diversity here. 5-key metal transverse flute, made in the second half of the 19th century, in original box. There's not many pictures other than the main ones. Holtzapfel at the Royal Palace, patented by the King Flute with 4 silver keys, made at the beginning of the 19th century. Okay. Transverse flute, bearing the Boyard Grima Constantine mark, ebony and silver keys, about 1900. Flute by Dajma Joliet, silver metal, from 1929. And German flute in ebony with 9 nickel silver keys, to be revised. So a Lefebvre's clarinet in B flat with a barrel signed Paul Bushka, Bakelite barrel, mouthpiece, fairly good condition. And a Selma box. Old B-flat clarinet, signed Cousineau in Paris. Clarinet in B-flat by Widow Soriot in Mirecourt. Okay. Ebony Piccolo flute, 5 nickel silver keys. Anonymous Piccolo flute in pretty rosewood with 6 nickel silver keys. Rare Baroque flute by Schuchart, London, circa 1770. 4 parts in boxwood, each bearing the Schuchart stamp, square brass key stamped with leather, length 604, diameter of the mouth 11 millimeters. Okay. Soprano recorder, made in Switzerland, 1980, in plain condition. German alto recorder. Harmonic flute. How curious. Let's have a look at the pictures of that. Never seen anything like that before, so that is a new one on me. That's very curious. Very interesting. Here is a harmonica by Cohn, mid-20th century. Rare soprano saxophone made around 1900 by Henry Dolnet, successor to Dolnet Lefebvre. Okay, that's an interesting one. Actually, was there more pictures of it? I think that's a second picture. Okay. Cousineau, soprano saxophone, year 1904, to be revised in an old wood box. L. Page's Alto Saxophone in Algiers, circa 1930, in silver metal, to be revised and cleaned. Alto Saxophone, Antoine Courtois. Okay, second half of 20th century. Brass bugle with its mouthpiece by Jerome Thionville Lamy. Okay. Trompe en rond de meurtre by Francois Perinet. Silver coat of arms bearing the name Louis Le Soliac, adorned with 2 hunting dogs. Henry Selmer trumpet, model 75, from 1972. Jazz guitar signed Paul Baecque, made in the style of De Mauro, 1940s, 1950s. It's pretty normal. Jazz guitar by Cohn, luthier in Mirecourt. Yes, not too exciting. Classical guitar made in Paris by Jacques Favino, 1971, model 5A. Rosewood back and sides, maple and ebony fillets, mahogany neck, rosewood fingerboards, spruce top. Cuenca classical guitar model, 1983. Ibanez 12-string folk guitar. EKO double Florentine cut guitar, 1970, from Italy. Epiphone electric guitar, model 2, that's pretty lowbrow. Hohner professional electric guitar. EKO guitar, Italy, Cobra, 1970s, 80s, 1 pickup. Another EKO, Les Paul style, Kiwi model, Italy, 1970. Morris electric guitar, Japan, 1970s, to be revised, mechanics changed, false contacts. That's kind of cute. Padded cover for Ernie Ball electric guitar model, gig bag amp. New condition with small portable Marshall amp. Okay. Italian Melody Vintage 5000 bass, 1960s, 70s. Okay. Electric bass guitar sold at Baecque, of which it bears the mark on the head. And now we're getting into other instruments. 2 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 Tamwezi, Tanzania, mid-20th century. Zither. That's quite interesting. Let's have a look at the pictures. It's a good range of kind of things in this auction. Bowl, Ivory Coast. Gong hammer. Yep, that's cool. Another bowl, Republic of Ivory Coast. Scraper. Okay, a resonator. That's interesting. Kind of gourd. I know very little about any of these things. That's definitely interesting. Voodoo from DR Congo. And cocoa pod. Cuba, DR Congo, first half of the 20th century. Drum, wood. Lila Cuba, drum from kind of Congo. Another La Cuba drum. It's really fascinating. Mangbetu, the Congo, slotted drum. Yeah, I like that. Not seen one of those before. Bandia Zande, another kind of lots of drums from the DR Congo. These are quite interesting. Zonde, DR Congo, Kundi harp. Okay. Chokwe, DR Congo. Soundboard is decorated with a diamond-shaped face in relief. Yep. Mangbetu, DR Congo, harp. Luba, Katanga Province, DR Congo. A calabash is there. Calabash is there. Wood, rattan, hemp. Exceptional and rare xylophone with the single blade of the Luba of Katanga. The two curved arms pass through the latex that holds them. Two wooden sleepers fixed at the end consolidate this frame. The single blade is suspended on the frame above the open neck of the calabash. The blade is struck with the fingers or a mallet. This complex and elegant xylophone is played by Luba hunters before and after the hunt. According to Jay Gansman of the RMCA in Trevuren in Belgium, the instrument is called Didim Badimba, which could be on the onomatopoeia of the sound produced by the instrument. That's interesting. We're learning. So from Luba, Democratic Republic, Likemba. Okay. I definitely think I need to learn a lot more of these instruments from the Congo and Africa in general. I do not have much knowledge. From DR Congo, mid-20th century, Lamellophone, Longandu. These kind of, I suppose, probably crudely say over here, kind of like thumb pianos. Same another Lamellophone. Yeah, I definitely need to learn more for sure. Hunter's whistle. That's very cool. I like that. That's brilliant. Another hunter's whistle. Yeah, this is very interesting. Definitely learning a lot. Okay, two-headed Sansa. Another drum, armpit drum, tama. That's a Burkina Faso hunter's flute, bronze alloy, different metals. Mossy, Burkina Faso, lot of 300 whistles in dense wood with shiny patina. Equipped with 3 play holes and a portage hole, these whistles allow hunters to communicate with each other in playing condition. Oh, that's cool. Burkina Faso hunting whistle. Mid 20th century Mali Buru transverse horn. Mali bell with internal clapper from Dogon. Chokwe, Angola Mukepla drum. Cameroon, mid-20th century oliphant wood. Beautiful transverse cool horn, entirely covered in leather. Large oval mouthpiece, patina of dark brown. Lega Burundi Rwanda, mid-20th century Sansa. Okay. Lot 2 lutes Xalamolo from. Okay. A lot of bells and cowbells, very cool. Fang harp from Gabon, skin and wood, that's cool. 9-string Arab Andalusian Mandola, 4 of which strings are doubled. 19-fret Turkish baglama, 1 missing, Turkey 1970s. Maghreb oboe in fruitwood, restored. Wedding darbuka of Lebanese or Syrian origin in natural skin and nickel-plated brass with flower and bird motifs, bearing the calligraphic inscriptions in Arabic, the festivals of yesteryear at your place or in your house. Interesting. Indian sitar, 1920-1950. Repaired calabashes or gourds in playing condition. Indian tabla, Dayan, first half of the 20th century. Indian ritual conch made in a seashell, first half of the 20th century. Ribangam, India. So kind of drum. Part of gamelan set from Indonesia. That's quite cool. I think like parts of gamelan are quite rare, so that's interesting to see. Traditional Tahitian ukulele, instrument in rosewood. That's quite cool. Asian made ukulele guitar. Traditional China or Cambodian violin, Lani in varnished mahogany with 20th century bow. Small Tibetan horn of modern manufacture in brass and nickel silver. Another Tibetan horn in copper and brass from about 1970. Tibetan ceremonial ritual conch, contemporary manufacturer. 2 small ritual Tibetan horns with snake heads in brass and silver, nickel silver. Mid-20th century. Nepalese shamanic drum in leather. It's kind of cool. Indo-Chinese gong around 1900, bamboo in bronze. Ocarina in chrome spelter, made around 1900. Mixed lot, Yugoslavian 6-hole flute, Tibetan jingles, Chinese recorder, Rama Alto recorder, Maracasa. Another lot, South American bamboo pan flutes, 2 Cuba maracasas, 2 Bolivian bamboo flutes, 1 Bolivian wood recorder, and Organillo, Spanish musical box by Verbena, made in 1950. It's kind of cute. Topaz, a record player to be serviced. Philips portable tape recorder. Okay. A final PVX R500C PA amplifier. And I think that is potentially it. I think we may have got to the end there. Let's just double check that we're not missing anything there. Okay, I think that is it. So wow, what a fascinating auction that is. A real mix, kind of similar in a way to some of the Gardner Hallgate auctions in terms of diversity, the general music ones. So yeah, that's definitely kind of interesting. I think I would pick for my kind of pick of this auction, it's going to be between this Quinton, which I do find extremely interesting, and actually the Quinton and one of the this first DR Congo hunting whistle. I think this is brilliant as well. So between the Quinton and the hunting whistle, very interesting. So yeah, so this has been the Baecque auction in Lyon. That's kind of going live tomorrow. So I'll put a link in description if you're interested in bidding. Have a look on the website, look at the terms, and see what you think. And once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. So ciao for now. Bye. Many thanks for tuning in to the Musical Instrument Investigator. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please like, subscribe and turn on notifications, and watch out for the next video coming soon.